This week in Jupiter Jeep. First aid kits. Some little things you can put together to help yourself or help a fellow Jeeper. Coming right at you. Simple walking into Walgreens, there was 2 first aid kits right at the top shelf, and of course all around it was all sorts of supplies that you could stock a first aid kit with just by simply looking around and seeing what you need. So here we have 2 different types of first aid kits. This kit, of course, is the one that's kept in the Jeep. And it has quite a few things on it. We'll go through the kit and show you more of it there. You'll notice we have a taping over here. This is an old EMT trick that we put in there, and basically it lets us know when was the last time we actually was in this kit. So it kind of helps you keep up to date, make sure something hasn't expired or gone bad. You know, you can look at it real fast and go, oh yeah, that was the last time I was in it. The second kit, these can be bought at Walgreens, Walmart, Target, and stuff like this. This one particularly was from Walgreens itself. It's $16, and it's a nice little kit. For $16, give you quite a few things. So first we'll go ahead and we'll go into this one here and take a look at it and show you what's all inside this kit itself. Okay, so this kit comes in a nice waterproof, by the way, cover, zipper bag. It's got a handle on it, and it's red. And red to me is a good type of kit to have, because you will always see this when you tell somebody look for the red bag in my Jeep, they will grab it, and that's why my other kit's red also. A lot of people like to use the military green and the black, but this won't confuse somebody if you have a red kit. They will know that's what you want them to get. So looking into this kit here, it's put together pretty nicely, and we're going to take it out of its bag here. Everything is sealed up, and put that over there. This kit comes numbered for you, which is it's kind of nice. It's an easy kit to utilize. It's got all of your basic first aid stuff that you probably could use, starting with number 1, which is a clean and treat and cover. And if you flip it over, you can see they've kind of just got it sealed here, but it's got band-aids in there. Stuff that you could cover up wounds with and stuff. That's probably what the number 1 thing a lot of these get used for, especially in Jeeping events, is who's got a Band-Aid. Second part, number 2, is wound and dressing and bandages. More of this for you. And this would probably be for something more severe out there on the field, if you cut yourself kind of bad, or lacerations in the arms, on the legs. And just to flip it over, just to show you, here's all the items that are inside here. You got some tape, you got some Q-tips, got a set of little gloves. Got some Spanish wrap and some big 4x4 type gauze in there, something to help, you know, stop a bleeding. Number 3 in this one actually comes with a manual and some instructions for you to use. So, you know, if you've never had a first aid course, this might be very helpful for you. And of course, I always recommend that you should go and get you a good first aid course with CPR. The American Red Cross does host those. You can look it up on the internet and find out where one's being held and attend a class there. And we'll flip it over. And of course, this is American Red Cross here. You can utilize them. This scissors, wooden spoon that's got tweezers and safety clips. And the last pack in here is medicines and topicals in there. And, you know, those could be for different types of vitamins there, antiseptic wipes, probably some sort of topical like antibacterial, different types of things. So, you know, it's a pretty nice little kit. It's pretty waterproof. I mean, you don't have to worry about it. If your Jeep gets wet, none of this is going to get really soaked. So nice and easy to have. And this was at Walgreens, and it was for $16. So nice little kit for throwing in a Jeep. And remember, these kits are not for the long term out in the back country for, you know, 15, 20 days and you're never going to see civilization. This is just to get you by. If you have an emergency, you're on a day trip, you're out Jeeping with everybody, and something happens either to one of the other Jeepers or yourself, you've got some medical kit aid in your Jeep to help take care of you. Okay, next kit up, this is the kit that we carry in the Bullet. It has most of anything and everything that we like to have with us. Being an EMT, probably carry a lot more, and that's probably one of the other things. I probably can do more medical stuff than, say, the first responder person does because of my training, and I always like to reiterate that. do not go above whatever training you have had, whether it's, if it's just first aid, you stick with your first aid skills. You don't want to be suturing somebody up or doing something of that nature. So to get in this kit, I thought we'd just take a look at it real quick. Like, you can get these bags, they're a military type pouch bag off Amazon. I think they're like 20 bucks or something like that. Or you can find another red bag that you like, but like, again, I like red because people can find it. First thing up, we got a nice little flashlight here. You keep in there, always check it, make sure the flashlight works. It's always good to have a little spare light, although I know most Jeepers do always have a flashlight somewhere. Next thing, pen. Be surprising how nice it is to have a pen. And if you were helping somebody and you were gloved up, you can actually write on the glove any type of things that that person might say. Like, let's say they're taking some sort of heart medication and they don't have that information with you. Might be good to have that and be able to write it down. So pen's always good. Next up, good pair of trauma scissors. You can get these pretty cheap too at any of the medical places or Walgreens. They all have those. Good for cutting through stuff. On the side here is a little multi-tool. And I know everybody's probably got a bunch of spare of these guys hanging around, but multi-tool, always good. It's there. It's on the side, something to carry with you. And coming around here, looking at the side pockets here, this particular one we have set up right now. Inside we've got 2 packs of the Neospring that's in here. And, they're good to have in there. They last for quite a long time, but eventually, like everything else, you should take and trade some of this stuff out, rotate it out in stock. Second side. And here we got a set of gloves. Now, one thing bad about Florida is our heat. And with the heat, we tend to have a problem with gloves and stuff breaking down. So it's always a good thing to have that date like we're talking about, where you can check these gloves out. And there's 2 sets of gloves in here, and I put them in a bag to kind of help them stay together and also easy to grab out of the side of the bag. I don't have to worry about ripping into it there. So now on to the inside there. And this bag has a handle or shoulder. You can go either way. There's our tape and date. So we'll put a new one on after we do this because it shows that we were inside this med kit. Front zipper pouch on this one. Something that doesn't, which you can't put in the other kit, the one from Walgreens. You can do this too. And this is a little baggie that we put together, and we keep a couple of different little pills in there. Motrin, tell what it is, how many milligrams it is, baby aspirin, 81 milligram, and some Benadryl for allergy effects. It's always nice to have that. And if you're on certain medications, it might be a good time to put a few of those in there just as a backup for yourself. In case something happens to you, you forget your meds, you get stranded out for a long period of time and miss getting back home to take your meds. So you always know, hey, I got a few of those in there. Next up is, of course, wet ones we have in there to wipe your hands. Some good old-fashioned hand sanitizers. Those are good. You want those with you. Come back in here. We got some super Santa Claus here. It's a germicidal pad that you can take and wipe down large areas or even wash your hands off with. And of course, we got some good old-fashioned Perel wipes. Those are all over the place. You can buy bunches of those, so it's not that much. And this is not really an expensive kit to put together to carry with you out in the Jeep. It's just got some of the basics that you can do. And this happens to be also another set of gloves. These are non-latex vinyl type gloves because some people do have allergies to the latex part there. So moving on to our top one. This came with a regular type of zipper grasp on it. I took it out, put a ring, and I made one of these easy to pull cords on top of it, made with a bright color so it's easy to see. If you got it at night, you just reach down and grab it. You don't have to try and fumble with it, so just unzip it. And of course, this is packed full, so it's going to be a little tight. Plenty of type of gauze randing and bandaging, self-sticking bandaging there itself. Things that you can put on somebody without you cutting your shirt or their shirt up to tie this on. Going back further, we'll look and see. Vaseline gauze, as an EMT, we use this for sucking chest wounds, can be utilized for other areas. It also could be used if you had to and you're really stranded, you can use this to help start a fire. So these are kind of nice to have in there as a backup. Reach down in here. Band-Aids, you know, you can buy all sorts of Band-Aids, put you a couple of different type of ones in there. You got Band-Aids. Cold packs. Cold packs do pretty good, but every year you really need to take a look at one. Make sure you haven't self-activated it by squishing it or something like that. Check its expiration date and make sure, because you know it's nice to have one of these on the scene sometimes. Somebody bumps their head, hurts their hand, or swelling. You know, it's nice to have an ice pack without having to run and find ice, though most of us do have ice in our coolers, usually. Some more wrappings, a triangular bandage, and that's, again, the first aid case that you can go to and get that type of training in there. You can learn about doing a lot of different bandaging with a triangular bandage. And I got a couple of those in there. And pull out. Sterile care, sterile sponges. These are just stuff that you can pick up at any type of store that carries all the different types. And if they don't have them, you can just get 4x4 gauze. Just something that can be put on top of a wound, secured, and you make the person comfortable or yourself comfortable until you have EMS or you get home to your doctor. It's whichever way you wind up. Sorbent pads, anything that's going to absorb. You got somebody that's really bleeding, utilize that. And that is pretty much all that you would need for a day kit or a kit that you would carry in your Jeep. Very simple, very easy. Doesn't cost a lot of money to outfit one. And again, nice red color, so easy to spot when it's in the Jeep. Well, hopefully that was some information that was useful to you in putting your own first aid kit together. And like I say, you don't have to go out really crazy and don't have to get a really huge first aid kit, but you should have a few items with you just in case there is an injury that you or someone else may have. Would like to remind you too that if you have any comments or something else you'd like to see that This Week in Jupiter Jeep covers or does, send us an email at jjcflorida@gmail.com. And we will try and put something else together as time is starting to come by and we get a little bit more freer. We're starting to do a few more things out in the field. One of them is we're going to start doing some of our vendors that we have that help support the club and give a chance for a lot of people to see these vendors and some of the things that they do in their different shops. Also, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to This Week in Jupiter Jeep. That'll be really helpful because that way we know you're watching these, and also we want to help the Jeeping community whichever way we can with whatever information we can come up with. Well, until then, Jeep safe, Jeep in pairs, because you know you got to be safe out there. And also, oh yeah, with Jupiter Jeep, you're going to have a good time. Let's go do some Jeeping now. Bye-bye.